Welcome. Cue the next leader. We're here with Brad Furby, General Manager of Campus Ford, Waynesboro, Virginia. Brad, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So it's lovely to see you. First of all, thank you for being a VINCUE customer, and
Yes.
and for thank you for joining us on this podcast today. Um, I think we should just get right into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'll get into the questions.
Okay. Um, I'm I'm a car guy. What else can I say? Is the only thing I've ever done. Besides some side real estate stuff. Been in the car business now almost 20 years, believe it or not. But big time in the sports. Have a family, wife, and 4 kids. But just a hard worker, car guy. At the end of the day, yeah. I don't know.
Well, you got to be a hard worker. I mean, if you're a GM, you know you're a hard
Yeah,
worker, right?
absolutely. Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about your personal journey and what led you to automotive and this 20-year career.
Yeah. Probably like most people, unconventional. I guess maybe not. So I fell into it. I'm from New York. I moved south. I was a troubled teenager. I was getting in some trouble, and I moved to Charleston, South Carolina. And I saw an ad that said you could make up to 100 grand plus. I answered the ad. Believe it or not, as young as I look, I sold Buicks and Pontiacs, and and that's where I started at a Pontiac dealership, selling Pontiacs and GMCs, and I never looked back. But that's how I fell into the car. But answered the ad, met a guy who still mentors me to this day, which I'm sure we'll probably get into a little later, and here I am, almost 20 years later.
That's a great story. So, were there some key influencers early on in your life and in your career that shaped your approach to the car business and to leadership in general?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, early in life, I would say my dad, um, just a hard worker. He never complained about anything. Just put his head down, did whatever the job entailed until it got done, and just a hard worker his whole life. And in terms of the car business, like I said, I met a guy named Randolph Scott, and we'll probably reference him probably 3, 4, 5 times during this podcast because he's been that influential in my life and in my career. But I met him there, and like I said, he was the one who hired me, and we haven't looked back. And now, obviously, we're almost 20 years friendships, but almost 20 years, obviously, as mentorship as well.
Oh, that's great. It's really great to hear. You know, I think we all have at least one person in our life that has helped shape
Correct.
us,
Correct.
right, and
Correct.
guide us.
Correct.
Were there some big challenges that you might have faced early on in your career? Can you talk about, some of your biggest challenges and how you overcame them?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the biggest challenges I faced was trying to grow and do so much so fast. I mean, I got into the business when I was 19, 20 years old. And by the time I was 23, I thought I should be a GM. I thought I knew everything. I thought I should be running the store. And this guy doesn't know what he's doing. No, that car is worth 10 grand more. And just making a lot of bonehead mistakes, telling people they don't know what they're doing and chasing the carrot. Just instead of sitting in one place and thriving and being good and going to the top, I'm chasing titles and jobs, trying to get to the top at 23, 24 years old, really not even understanding the car business at all. So that was a challenge for me personally that I had to face and come to a grip with, that I need to slow down, take a step back, get with a good dealer group and rise my way to the top and learn everything that I can learn, so that I could be a great GM.
How has your family influenced your career and your leadership style?
Um, I would say they influence my leadership style because I try to create a great work life balance at my job because like I'm not the guy that want to miss anything. I don't want to miss any football games. I don't want to miss any basketball games or anything like that. So what I try to do is create an atmosphere to where my managers or salespeople and stuff like that, they can kind of have that same type of lifestyle as well. If they don't want to miss a game or something, I'm telling them to get out of here. Like, go ahead, go see, because you're never going to get that time back. In my earlier years, I mean, I probably like most people in the business, I worked so much. I worked crazy. I missed all those things. So now it's like, no, don't miss any of these things. Get out of here. Go visit it. Go see it, because it's going to be your one and only time. So I try to so in terms, like you said, my family and stuff like that, I just try to be present as much as possible, and I try to pass that along to the people that work for me to make sure that they're present in their families' lives as well.
Tell me a little bit about your kids.
I have four kids. So I have a 17-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and then a 3-year-old. My oldest son plays football. So that's what I'm talking about. Like on Fridays, like when I won't be here at the dealership, I'll be at the football games. So it's just like, don't have to look for me on Friday afternoons, because I will be gone at the football games, and I expect the same thing, like I said, for my employees. But the wonderful kids, they don't give me any trouble except for the 3-year-old. If you know anybody that's looking for a 3-year-old or anything like that, I got one available. that guy's he's been here before, so I don't know.
It's like you're blessed with the three older ones. You thought
Correct.
you were done, and then the little one comes along, right?
The
And he's the
little one,
biggest challenge.
he's different. Yeah, that guy's different.
Tell me a little bit about like your business philosophy. Like, what do you believe are the essential things that you need to be successful in this industry?
I think it starts. So go back to my upbringing in the car business. I got into the car business when I was 19, 20 years old. A big city kid from New York City, moving to Charleston, South Carolina, and everything there to me is very small towns. Um, Everything starts with a handshake and a smile, and the philosophy is taking care of that the one in front of you, and that's what I still believe to this day. It's no matter what new technology comes out, the trends or any of those kind of things. At the end of the day, it's a people business, and it's a simple business if you keep it simple. And everything to me starts with a nice handshake and a smile, and you take care of the customer. So if you take care of the one that's in front of you, take care of that customer, whether it's sales or service, they'll take care of you, and in return, the community should take care of you. So I just try to keep it very simple, just like that, and that's what I try to preach.
I love it. Well, tell me a little bit about your store, or your stores.
It's just one store right now. It's just one store right now. Single point Ford dealer out here in Waynesboro, Virginia. For everybody, like, where's Waynesboro? It's about 30 miles outside of Charlottesville, where the University of Virginia is. In a great town, um, doing some really good things here. Um, we are we are one of the top in the zone selling new Fords. We have a great used car business, and we're just growing. And we are looking for that next opportunity to where we can get a multiple stores and stuff like that. But it's a great store, great community. I have 31 employees here. They're all fabulous, and like I said, I just try to preach for them to have that great work life balance, which I think I've created here.
So let's talk a little bit about innovation. How do you stay ahead of industry trends to ensure that your store remains innovative?
Yeah, so I think it goes back to the question before last. I actually don't. I'm not following the trends. I think the followers are the ones who get lost and lose their self or their business. Like I said, I try to keep it very simple. I try to keep it very simple. Handshake and a smile. Take care of the one in front of you. Of course, there are some new technology, some tools and stuff I use in terms of like video appointment confirmation or video respond to an internet lead and different things like that. But in terms of some there's I mean there's a every day there seems like there's something new in the car business, the newest and greatest thing. I'm not that guy that's going to jump on that. I'm going to stick with what has worked for me, which is just taking care of the one in front of me. And if I could get a little bit more increment by doing some of these other small things, I would do that. But in terms of changing my whole business philosophy or anything like that because of some trend, no, I don't do that.
How did you hear about VinCue and what led you to VinCue?
So Glenn Lundy actually. Um, Following Glenn Lundy, I've heard him speak several times. I've seen him post about it, and then I've also seen the Bob Roof Group, Ford. I think they're a big proponent of you guys. So I started doing some research from there. I was trying to get away from V Auto. Um, as you know, I'm not even sure if I could say this or not, but I mean, V Auto is kind of like the race to the bottom, and I definitely don't want to be a part of the race to the bottom, especially in a smaller market like this. I don't have that much competition or anything like that, so I don't need to be pricing my cars competing with a dealer that's whatever 150 miles away. I'm not. That's not my competition. So everything that you guys do, the software, the system, especially after speaking to Jeremy and going through the stuff in the demo, it just made sense to me. So I mean, if you want to talk about that being a trend or something new and innovative, then I'm with that. VinCue is that, But in terms of, but it's a great software. I mean, after I saw it and being obviously Violo for 15 years or so, I'm like, this is refreshing. This is good. A lot of data with the competitors and the mark. I mean, it's just so much information. Like I know I'm not even using it to my full capabilities yet, or the software's full capabilities yet, because there's just so much in there. But that was the reason though. I saw Glenn Lundy, saw speaking about it. I saw the Bob Roof stuff, and then I just started doing my research. Reached out, spoke to Jeremy. Um, yeah, it's a no. It was a no brainer. It was a no brainer.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the impact that you might have on the industry. I know it's a small store, small market, but you're impacting 31 employees. There's 31 lives that you're impacting. Tell me a little bit about how do you think your work and your store has impacted the automotive industry itself?
I think my work, and it's not just here. I actually mentor some other younger guys. So I try to make an impact that way to show them, especially as an African American GM, letting them know that you can do it. But this is what you have to do. You have to put your head down. You have to work. And you have to stick it out. Every day is not going to be a good day. Um, but you got to have those tough conversations with the owners or whoever may be above you and stuff like that. But I try to mentor and bring some younger guys, some younger managers and stuff along for the ride and let them know that hey, it's possible. So that's probably the way I would say in this industry I try to make an impact. Locally here, I try to make an impact just by letting everybody know like you can make a great living working in the car business to take care of your family, um, and not be afraid or have to be afraid to go into the community and go into grocery stores and stuff like that, because we're not how it used to be, to where what I mean, we're sleaze bags, we're this or that. Like no, we take care of the customer, we have great conversations. You could sell them a car today and then go see them in the Walmart and say hi and stuff like that and check on the families and different things like that. You don't have to run and hide. You don't have to, like, we stand behind the cars, all that kind of stuff. So it's a great way that you can take care of your family and live here locally.
Does your dealership do anything around the community? I know that some dealerships get involved in the community. They find certain charities. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on with your dealership in Waynesboro?
Yeah, so we try to we need to be involved more. I would say that. Let me start by saying that. But with school getting ready to start now, like we're going to be involved with, of course, the football team and being out at the stadium and stuff like that. But we also work with the local YMCA. Believe it or not, the dealership has been around 100 years, and we're in the second building, and the original building is now where the local YMCA is at. So if you go to the local YMCA and you go upstairs, you can see their original parts department. They still have like stuff in there behind the walls. It's kind of crazy actually, but we do some small things over there as well. But we do need to get involved more, and that actually is a focus of mine. Closing out the fourth quarter, going in the first quarter.
You know, one of the things that, we talked about NAMAD a few minutes ago and the National Association of Minority Auto Dealers and, increasing diversity, DEI, making sure there's a focus there in the automotive industry. How do you believe that putting an emphasis on diversity and DEI, how does that positively impact the automotive industry?
Huge, huge. Because like I said, like you may get a young, great salesperson get hired, like myself 20 years ago with a lot of drive, and you don't see anybody at the top that looks like you. So then you kind of lose, like, oh, I can't do this, or there are no black dealers, or there's no black GMs and stuff like that until you actually see it. So if there's more of us, then the guys who are coming up now can say, okay, they did it. Damian Mills did it. Dawud Muhammad did it. Like these guys, Jared Carver, like these are guys that I talk to who are all dealers who I can look up to, I can call, can text, if I have any questions or different things like that on any subject. So I mean, it's important to have the representation so that, like I said, the guys that's coming up behind us can have something to look up to and look forward to, and something to strive and be.
And I love that the people that have made it, like the Damian Mills, like yourself, you're there, the willing to lend a hand.
I'm not in the same category with Damian Mills. He has like 35 stores.
You only need 34 more.
I wish. I saw him last week in Vegas at the Ford meeting. I wish.
But the beauty of it is you have access to a man like that.
Yes. And there's several more. I mean, but yes, those guys for sure definitely have access to him, could talk to him, could call him, whatever the case may be, and they'll pick up the phone. Or if they're busy, they'll definitely return my call or text me back.
Yeah, I think it's so important. And then you'll be available for the next group that are coming up behind you.
Correct, and that's what I'm trying to do now. Definitely be available. Yep.
Now you talked about Randolph Scott being the person that really kind of hired you and gave you your break in automotive. Would you consider him one of your inspirational figures, someone that you actually look up to? And
yeah, definitely Randolph. Yeah, Randolph is he's a different guy. He's he's very smart. He's very innovative. He's probably one of the best closers that I've ever worked around, been around. But yeah, he is definitely the guy I look up to, guy that I call probably before anything. Like if I wanted to, I don't know, like I was just sitting here looking at my statement from last month, and I'm trying to figure out how to find another, say, 25 grand in net profit. Like he's the guy that I'm calling to say, okay, this is what I did. This is how I did it. This is how many cars I serviced. This is how many ROs I had. How do I find another 25 grand I could get to the bottom line? And those are the conversations and stuff like that we have all the time.
wow,
So
that's powerful.
Yeah. And I mean, there's others too, but I mean, just me and him we almost have a father-son like relationship. So I mean, anything I run by him. But also too, I mean, like Dawud Muhammad, me and Dawud sat side by side as GM and GSM at a Nissan store in Charlotte. And you look up, now he has his own Nissan store, and he has a Ford store and a Chrysler Dodge Jeep store. And I speak to him probably 3 or 4 times a, a week about accounting things and different things like that. Hey, how does your accounting department account for this? Oh, try it like this. Okay, great. And then so I have a couple guys, like I said, I lean on, but I would say probably those two. But Randolph, for sure, he's been there since day one. He hired me into the business, gave me my first manager's job. The only thing he didn't do was give me my first GM job because obviously he was the GM, so he couldn't give me a GM job. But every other position, he was there for it, gave it to me. Yeah.
What do you say to the folks that are coming up behind you in terms of what they need to do to have the success that you have and beyond?
I always tell the difference between me. I tell my salespeople this: the difference between me and them is that I didn't take no for an answer. So I'm very, very big on overcoming objections. Selling cars, selling service, it's nothing but overcoming objections. And if you can overcome the objection, you can move the deal along, you can move the service along to the next phase or the next step. And the second part of that is find a mentor. Have a great mentor that you can call, that you can work with, that knows what they're doing, that that's not doing it for self, who has a vested interest in you, and hopefully has been through it and has done it themselves. But yeah, a great mentor, a great mentor.
Do you have any other? I know with 4 kids, it's tough to have outside interests. And as a GM of a store, the kids, especially with that 3-year-old,
Yeah,
right? Do you have any other outside interests or hobbies?
yeah. I'm going to
That
tell you something that's probably going to blow your mind. But
Okay?
so I'm very big into football. I'm very big, and everybody could tell you this too that know me personally. Even Damian brought it up last week. But I'm a diehard, probably the biggest San Francisco 49ers fan you'll talk to or meet. I'm actually a season ticket holder, believe it or not. So I told you, and I do go to majority of the games. So
That's outstanding.
yeah. So, but obviously, not all the kids go all the time or different things like that. But yes, I'm a season ticket holder for the San Francisco 49ers. So you never have to question what I'm doing on Sundays. I'm either in San Francisco at the game, or I'm where the game is at, or I'm at home, or I'm at my local bar with my fan base watching the team. I'm also the president of Niner Empire of Charlotte, which is a
Oh my goodness.
yeah, see, which is a fan club, obviously for the 49ers. So I run that as well. So yeah, so my hands are full. So outside activities, it's the 49ers. Yeah, and actually even have a 49ers podcast.
Oh my God, I love this. All right, now I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind, and you might not want to talk to me after I tell you
Oh,
this.
we're gonna tell you a
So
Dallas fan.
no, are you kidding me?
Oh,
No,
you're in
never.
Kansas City, so you're gonna tell me you're a Chiefs fan.
Yes, but here's the thing. I'm a
Oh
Chiefs
my
fan now.
gosh!
Let me tell you the story. I got to tell you the story. I was born and raised just outside of San Francisco.
Wow.
Okay, so I was a teenager, young adult during the Joe Montana era. Okay, I'm a lot older than I look. Okay, so in 1980, 81, when the Niners became hot, remember they
Yep.
were horrible for
Correct.
years, right? So when they won that first Super Bowl, I remember jumping up and down, screaming. I remember where I was, right? And then I moved to Kansas City. Fast forward to 1989, moved to Kansas City. Guess who spends a season or two at
Joe
the Chiefs?
Montana.
Joe Montana.
I
That's I
cried.
was. I did too, but those were tears of joy to have him come and uplift that team. Uh, that was unbelievable. And I had season tickets as a Chiefs fan back then. And
Oh,
from then on, that was it. It was because for me, I think it was all about Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and Dwight Clark. I mean, I remember all these guys. You
yeah.
grow up with them.
Yeah.
Um,
I know the
but
Clark family.
do you?
Yeah, they live in Charlotte. You know, he went to Clemson. He
So
went
how
to
does
Clemson.
somebody born and raised in the East Coast become a diehard 49er fan?
Here we go. So I guess because of the same reasons. Well, my dad was a big time Giants fan, and when I started watching football, it was the late '80s, early '90s when the 49ers were good. So they would always battle the Giants in the playoffs and stuff like that before getting to those big Dallas games. And just a kid wanting to go against his dad, I said, I'm rooting for the Niners. He was rooting for the Giants. And then I just stuck with it because of Jerry Rice and everybody. I just stuck with it. But yeah, I remember when Leonard Marshall put Joe Montana in the dirt, I cried. And he came up with all the stuff. And that was the end of his
Yeah.
49ers career. I cried. But that was the
Yep.
start of Steve Young. So yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm so I'm so diehard. Patrick Willis. I got all the stuff in here. I'm sorry, this is Patrick Willis, Hall of Fame. This is Fred Warner.
Wow.
That's their signatures and everything. I have all the memorabilia here in my office and stuff. So yeah.
I
I'm
love it. Well,
diehard 49.
yeah.
Look, we got towels right here that people sent me and stuff.
Yeah.
All around me. In the
I love it.
dealership.
I love it. I got to get your address. I got to send you something. I was at a charity auction, and they had a Joe Montana jersey framed and signed, and I
Wow.
bought it and I sent it to my brother. I have four brothers. I sent it to my brother Salvatore because he loves the Niners. I have to find out if he hung it anywhere. If he didn't
Yeah.
hang it anywhere, I got to send it to you. Put it in your office.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. But I hate the Chiefs though. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's because we beat the Niners what, once, twice in the Super
Twice in the
Bowl. Come
Super
on
Bowl. I
now.
was there. I was there.
Oh, you were
Crying.
at the Super Bowl too?
Yes, ma'am. I was at the Super Bowl.
Mm,
I was at the
yeah.
Super Bowl. Let's not talk about
Yeah.
those memories.
All right, let's not. All right. The earlier memories were better.
It's a
All
new
right, well,
season.
what's that?
It's a new season upon us.
You know, you got to play the game. You can't anoint the
Correct.
winner. They have to play. That's why they play.
Correct.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be a great season. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Correct.
All right, last question I'll ask you about, in terms of reading books or listening to podcasts, or is there any recommendations you would have? And it could be your podcast about the Niners if you want.
No, no, no. I don't know why I'm sitting here drawing a blank right now. Because there is a book. I really don't listen to any podcasts. Once in a while, I will listen to Jennifer Suzuki. I went through the academy, NADA grad, and I met her there, and she has a nice podcast. Depending on the topic, I might tune in and listen to her. Um, but there's a book. It's called crap. I don't know why I'm saying drawing a blank.
That's okay. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, just like I said before, I'm really simple. Like I keep, I don't do any negativity or anything like that. I do nothing but positive energy, motivation, stuff like that. So I'm always more so reading quotes, or reading or watching like motivational videos, and I send those to my team and stuff like that. And I send out motivational quotes to my team. And that's this kind of stuff that keeps me going. Other than that, I'm very boring. And like I said, I keep it very, I mean, I swear to you, I keep it very simple. Just a handshake and a smile. You're always going to get a firm handshake and a smile from me when you walk in my store. You're going to be treated like your family. And I just try to keep it like that. And those are the principles and the stuff that's gotten to me where I'm at. And I think those will carry me throughout the rest of my career just by keeping it simple, keeping it very basic, keeping it simple.